Welcome to Action Hound Media, the site and channel all about action. Life's boring, get some more action into your life. This week we're going to talk about Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee's martial art. So Jeet Kune Do, also known as JKD, is a hybrid martial art philosophy and system developed by Bruce Lee in 1967. Rather than a fixed or patterned style like traditional martial arts, Kune Do emphasized efficiency, directness, and personal expression in combat. So the meaning Jeet Kune Do actually translates into the way of the intercepting fist. Core principles: simplicity is a big thing. Eliminate the non-essential. Techniques should be simple, effective, and adaptable in real combat. Another principle is directness. Attack in the most straightforward way. No wasted movements or showmanship. And another big thing is efficiency. Use the least amount of effort for maximum results. Another principle is efficiency. Use the least amount of effort for the maximum results. Energy and timing are critical. And Jeet Kune Do means the way of the intercepting fist. So interception. Instead of blocking and then countering, intercept the opponent's attack with an attack of your own. Bruce Lee actually created JKD, and it was more philosophy than a style. He famously said, absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and what is uniquely your own. This means JKD isn't bound by traditions or rigid forms. It encourages freedom, adaptability, and constant evolution. JKD is more of philosophy. What Bruce Lee did was take the best parts of the different martial arts. One of the martial arts he was big into was Wing Chun, which is his original martial arts. So he took a lot of trapping out of Wing Chun. He did a lot of boxing, so a lot of boxing concepts are used in JKD. Fencing, so fencing with the riposte and intercepting a person's attack, that type of thing. He got those concepts from fencing. He used a lot of Muay Thai. Muay Thai used a lot of different types of strikes like knees and elbows and in close clinching and striking in the clinch. So Muay Thai is a big component of JKD. He also did a lot of grappling, judo, jiu-jitsu. We have seen him do some kind of chokeholds like in Game of Death on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but he did a little jiu-jitsu. I think that was maybe one of his weaker arts because we didn't really see that much of it. And he also did Western wrestling and Savate. Some of the techniques that were popular in JKD is a lead hand jab. So he would lead with a stronger hand and he would use that as his lead hand jab. So I'm a lefty, so I would have my left hand forward, and this would be I'm using my strong hand to throw the jab. He did a lot of low line kicking to the shins, like that oblique kick he used. So low line kicks from Muay Thai also. Wing Chun, a lot of trapping from Wing Chun. And what he really liked to do is trap your hands and then go to a straight blast, which is punch something like this, the straight blast, once he got into the trapping range. And a lot of what he believed it too is intercepting strikes and stop hits, so you have that immediate counter instead of like blocking and counter like I'd mentioned before. There was also grappling and joint locks if needed. I don't think he was big into that, but it's been used, and I believe he did study some wrestling with some famous wrestlers of those days. So anyway, JKD today has two main branches. There's the original Jurfan JKD, which stays close to what Bruce Lee taught before his death. And there's also what is known as JKD Concepts, which incorporates Lee's philosophy to evolve the art further, often integrating more modern techniques. What we can really take away from JKD is that you're combining the best elements of all the martial arts, which is basically the MMA of today. It was a concept developed in 1967, but we're seeing it today when we watch the UFC and watch MMA. Let's check out some JKD techniques. So we have Max here. In one of his movies, I believe it was Enter the Dragon, he was in a sparring tournament or a sparring session with this American guy with a beard, and they started like this, and I think it was a one-hit competition, right? You get a point if you get one hit. So they were standing like this, and what Bruce Lee did was he trapped the guy's arm and he struck the guy in the face. All right, so that's one of the traps that Bruce Lee's famous for. So that's called the Pak Sao. All right, so from here I'll show you again. I trap the hand and then I just come in with the punch, all right? Okay, so in the movie, he did it one time, he was like this. He did it one time, he scored his shot right here. In the movie, they lined up again. He did it again. He did it twice, hit the guy in the face twice. Now, the guy smartened up because on the third one, he hit it again, the guy blocked it, right? So Bruce Lee laps out and then struck. All right, so that's trapping. So that's basic trapping for you. So once again, we're like this. It's a trap called the pak sao and then a strike, right? And then again, on the second one, he did a trap and then on the third one or whatever. So from the Wing Chun, so that's trapping. But let's talk a little bit about the trapping range. The trapping range is, again, a range that is very dangerous because you have knees, elbows, headbutts, and depending if it's a street fight or a competition, you could even like hit to the groin and other things like that, and headbutts. So it's a very dangerous range, and I believe the name of the movie Enter the Dragon was called that because when he enters into the trapping range, he unleashes the dragon, right? So trapping range is what he likes to go into. So like I even heard, I went to a seminar with Dan Inosanto, one of his training partners, who's a Filipino dude, and he said that guys would come in to challenge Bruce Lee, and all Bruce Lee would do was he would employ his Wing Chun. He'd come in, trap the guy, and then he would do a battle blast, and then just end the fight. Okay, but that was back in the 60s, 70s, right, when he was alive. Things have changed quite a bit. Martial arts have evolved. So if you look at Jeet Kune Do now, it's really mixed martial arts, right? Because mixed martial arts takes the best techniques out of all the rest and then combine it into this one art where you could fight in all the different ranges: kicking, punching, trapping, and grappling ranges. So you have to know a whole bunch of stuff, right? And what happens in trapping range? There is hardly an opportunity where you can trap because if we're this close and his arm is, he's either going to be hitting me and for me to trap here, I'm not really producing that much of a force when I'm hitting from here. So this is only like a little, there's not much power into this punch. So if I did trap him in, martial arts of today, it's not really that much, it's like a jab almost. This isn't really a powerful punch. Maybe Bruce Lee could do it because he had the 1-inch punch, but in real life, this does not really do much. Also, and if he's a skilled fighter and we're in trapping range, well, he's gonna be kneeing and elbowing me, right? So do you know how? You want me to show? So let's say he's Bruce Lee and I'm fighting him, right? So if we get into this trapping range, I'm just gonna get into the clinch and just start kneeing him or elbowing, right? So that kind of nullifies the trapping effect of Wing Chun because nowadays people are more skilled, and if you enter the trapping range, other people have different weapons that they could pull off, which will be more devastating than a little short range kind of punch, So, and then the other problem is then if you meet a grappler, once you're in trapping range, you're not going to be standing up with the guy. He's going to take you down, and you're going to have to know some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to get out of that situation. So, as much as I like to say, Jeet Kune Do is a great thing, the concepts are great. The trapping is, I would say, archaic at this point. All right, so in Filipino martial arts, trapping works with the stick because, so if we're fighting empty hands, he's going to be worried about all my weapons. He's going to be worried about my punches. He's going to be worried about my knees, my kicks. He's going to be worried about all those things, right? But when you fight with a stick, you only really worry about is the weapon, when you're fighting with a stick, right? Because if I came in, so if he came in with the stick, he swung the stick, and I blocked him, I'm just concerned about his weapon. He's not gonna, he could though, look, punch me in the face, right? Boom. But when you're fighting weapon on weapon, all you're thinking about is the weapon and striking with the weapon. So when you're fighting with weapons, totally changes the trapping game tremendously. So back in the trapping, so he takes a swing, I block, and here's the trap, right here. And then I come in with the puño, right? Because he is not really thinking about anything except blocking with the weapon. And I'll show you the trap again. So the trap, he comes to swing, I do a block, right? I do a block, I pass his hand, I trap, and then I come in with the puño. So once again, he swings like that. So trapping works with weapons. That's all I have to say. Actually, Bruce Lee was, I trained with Grandmaster Junior Cañete in the Philippines for 5 weeks in Cebu. And he told me that Bruce Lee was actually going to come and learn Filipino stick fighting from him, but then he passed away, so that didn't happen. But could you imagine if Bruce Lee learned the sticks and Filipino martial arts? He does a little bit of Filipino martial arts in his movies, but he wasn't really formally trained in it. I'm sure he learned a little bit from Dan Inosanto, who was a Filipino martial arts master. So he probably learned a little bit about it, but he was going to learn the whole thing, and he passed away. But JKD is great. Whatever you're studying, it's a good thing. Action Hounds unite. Peace.